Good morning from beautiful Sydney, Australia. I can't believe that we were driving for so long last night and we finally got to Sydney and that I was able to come to the meeting. I was hoping to make it, but we weren't sure with internet. We weren't sure with our logistics, being so far away from home. But anyway, welcome to August book group meeting. I'm super excited to be able to join you, even though I'm down under. Our featured read for this month is A Summer for the Books by Michelle Lindo-Rice, which I love books about books. And so when I saw that Michelle had a new book coming out this year that was books about books, I was like, oh, our group's going to love this. And I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. We'll bring Michelle on to discuss the book with her shortly. And we will avoid spoilers. So if you haven't finished it quite yet, we're not going to ruin the story for you. Still join us for some fun giveaways and to get to know Michelle better. We also have the opportunity to speak to Tia, who did the great freeze-dried Skittles in our August box. I met her at the Redwood County Fair, and she's just a lovely person. So I got to try some of her treats, and it was really fun to get her into a box. And to have her tonight so that you can all meet her. Be sure to like and share this video for the chance to win a $50 gift card to the Brendan Novak store. It helps other people in the group find the video and may attract some new book group members. We would always love to have more. We love growing our group with fellow book lovers. So also comment where you're joining from. It's really fun to see how far this meeting reaches, and it helps everybody get to know each other, just kind of see what part of the world they're in and like, oh, I live next to you. And so it helps us all become closer as a group. In this group, we feature a monthly read. I set the schedule a year in advance, so we always know ahead of time, and that becomes the Brenda Novak Book Group Challenge. We have fun incentives when you read along with us. You can get an autographed copy of each book in the Brenda Novak book boxes. They are not compulsory to participate with us. They're just a fun extra if you want to collect an autographed copy of each book and get some of the other really cool reader-related merchandise that Alexa designs and gets out there. It's all unique to us. So I'm super proud of her for her efforts, and it makes it just an extra fun thing to get a surprise for yourself each month. And sometime, well, there's always a surprise item, plus we reveal the contents right before they go out. So it's a little bit of a surprise all the way around. So you can subscribe, as I was saying, or you can get one monthly as you choose. We even have a 3-month subscription where you can make sure, say, for instance, you want to make sure you get December's because they always sell out. They go fast and they're really spectacular. So you can get a 3-month subscription and tell us which 3 months you want, like your birthday, Christmas, or however you want to do that. So we've made that option available as well, trying to be sensitive to everybody's budget and to make sure they can get in on the fun if they want to. If you're a book box subscriber, we have an after party tonight. So if you haven't received that link, make sure you email store@brendanovak.com right now. We have Jennifer standing by trying to help get everybody that link. We have already sent it to everybody, so check your spam folders. I saw mine come in. So hopefully you will be able to find that and join us. And we do these periodically. So hopefully you'll get used to this process so that it's not difficult for you. As I told you, I'm in Australia, but I was invited to come down here to do the keynote speak for the Romance Writers of Australia conference. And I loved getting to meet so many fellow writers again. I really missed the RWA that we had in the States. It hasn't really been going. I think they're starting to try and get it going again. And I'm definitely going to support that because I would love to see that happen. But here in Australia, it's still going strong. And I got to meet so many wonderful Aussies. I think that my favorite thing, I even told them this in my keynote speech, my favorite thing about Australia is the Australians. They are just the friendliest, nicest people you could ever meet. They're super chill. They're very accommodating and fun-loving. They love to laugh. So Ted has been having a blast with them. You know how much he loves people. He's been going around videoing them, saying different, we call them Aussie-isms, but the local, the colloquialism, I'm not saying that right, the vernacular here, the slang here. Anyway, it's super fun to see what they say that's different than what we say. And then, so we'll play a little game with that. We're collecting little clips. We're hoping to do that maybe at next book group meeting. We didn't have time to put that together for this one, but Ted's been working on a fun little treat where these cute Aussie authors and other people that we meet will say a word, and then you'll get to guess what that was, and then they'll come back on to explain it. So that's going to be a fun little thing that I'm putting together, hopefully for next, for September's book group meeting. But I did want to miss the opportunity, even though I'm clear so far away. This is actually Friday morning for me. So I'm 17 hours in the future, which feels really weird. And last night we almost gave up. We were trying to drive all the way from Melbourne to Sydney, only we decided that we couldn't just drive on the interstate. We had to take the coastal route and see everything. So it just took so much extra time. It was like 2 o'clock when we realized, oh my gosh, we still have like another 10, 12 hours. So poor Ted, he's done the bulk of the driving, and it hasn't been easy because everybody warned you about the animals in the road. And we almost hit a kangaroo that was already dead. The poor thing was already right in the middle of the road, and it comes on you so fast, and you have to swerve around it. And so they have a lot of wildlife here. And so it does get dangerous to drive after dark. But we were so determined to come and get here for this meeting. We knew that we already had a hotel here, we had internet, we had everything ready so that we could do this. So thank you to Ted for persevering. We got in at 2 o'clock last night finally, and we were just glad to have made it in one piece and to be able to get some sleep. So anyway, when they invited me, I decided to extend the trip, and we are going to see even more. We started with after we went to Hobart, then we went to Melbourne, and now we're in Sydney, and then we're going to continue up the East Coast, and we're going to go to the Whit Sundays and Port Douglas, and we're going to go scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef. So I've been putting out pictures in my newsletter. Of course, I've been posting about it too, so hopefully you're following along and seeing some of the cool things we've done. One of my favorite things so far has been Mona, and it is a museum that everybody told me when we were in Hobart, oh, if you get a little time, you got to see Mona. I wasn't really taking it to heart because it's a private collection, so I'm thinking, how big can it be? How great can it be? Oh my goodness, you guys, like it's beyond any museum I think I've ever been to. Just the whole aura, the way they handle everything. Everything was ginormous. It's like 3 stories underground in this cavernous, in these caves that are hewn out of rock almost, in these passageways. And it just the atmosphere of it, very, very cool. So if you haven't seen Mona, definitely put it on your bucket list if you ever get to Hobart, because it is worth a visit. We were super glad we chose that over the zoo because we have since also seen some really cool things since we left Hobart, we went to a wild animal park, and I cannot wait to show you the picture of the koala that Ted got so up close, so perfect. You guys are going to think we stole it from the internet somewhere, but it's actually on his phone. So I'm super excited. Got to feed kangaroos. They would come right up and eat out of my hand. And then these emus would come and try and get the food and scare the heck out of me because they were these huge birds with these big beaks. And I'm down here with this cute little kangaroo, and then here comes this gigantic bird that looks like an ostrich. If you haven't seen an emu, they're huge. They're the second largest bird in the world, and it would come and try and peck and grab it, scare the heck out of me. And Ted thought it was hilarious, so he would, video all of this. So we'll show you some of that stuff. But Queen Victoria's Market was another really big highlight. We spent hours there buying stuff for the baskets for the Reader Weekend that's coming up. The coffee here is something that they take really seriously, so we've been sure to try coffee everywhere, and they do it very fresh, very good. Anyway, moving on to book stuff. I'm so excited about my trip. It's hard not to share it all with you, but I will continue to share more. We recently received the cover. I recently received it for Meet Me in Italy. And it is, I think, my favorite cover. You guys have to tell me if it's yours as well. I think they knocked it out of the park. And I loved that Alexa was able to find the view that they kind of used as inspiration. And it looks so uncannily similar. They just did a great job. And the book is set in Praiano, which is a little town along the Amalfi Coast that is just gorgeous. It's not as big and touristy as, say, Positano, which is amazing too, but Praiano was kind of just right for us. And so that's where I wanted to set the book. That's where we stayed much of the time when we were on the coast. And so this is a scene that I imagined in my mind as I was writing. So Alexa is going to put that up in case you missed it in my newsletter. There it is. What do you guys think? Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, the colors, was that something that just jumps off the shelf? I hope so. I hope that it'll appeal to everybody. You'll give it a try because I really love the way the story turned out too. Let me read you the back cover copy. Let's see. A sun-soaked trip to the Amalfi Coast promises a fresh start and reveals secrets never imagined in New York Times bestselling author Brenda Novak's tender new novel. In the wake of her debut novel's breakout success and a very painful public divorce, Charlotte Williams Jackson has something to prove. With her second novel overdue, she's scrambling to hold it together, but her focus is rocked when she discovers that her childhood wasn't as it seemed, and she has a tween half-sister who's been orphaned in Italy. Alongside her best friend, Sloane, and Sloane's charming brother, Julian, Charlotte ventures to the Amalfi Coast to meet her sister. She would never turn her back on family, especially since this girl doesn't have anyone else. But between her looming deadline and her entire identity being flipped upside down, it's a lot. Determined to rebuild her life, Charlotte must confront the relationships she's held dear and the loss of those she thought she had but didn't, forcing her to question everything she understood about about herself and the bonds that shape a family. So we are going to have some exciting pre-order incentives happening. So make sure you get your order in. Of course, all copies ordered on the Brenda Novak store, all the autographed copies that I sign and send out whenever I have a new release out, those always count toward my numbers. So we're super grateful to those people for supporting us in that way. Also, the books in the book box works. And so that counts as a sale for me as an author. So super grateful when people order, especially my boxes, because it includes one of my books. So hopefully you'll get that. It's up on the store right now. Alexa listed it just for this meeting, for being able to show you the cover for those who want to rush on and grab it right away. And then you know you have that coming and you won't miss out on any of that. We always put extra special stuff in the boxes that have my releases too. Alexa really outdoes herself. So anyway, grab the April Brenda Novak book box if you can or want one, or just the autographed copy of the book. And if you've ever thought of treating yourself to something special and getting away, I hope that you will consider my reader weekend in April. We are planning some really great stuff. We're super excited about how it's all coming together. It seems like it's meant to be, because at first, when we first started this, we're like, but where would we hold it? And how would we do the food? And everything is just falling into place so perfectly. The chef is amazing. You are going to love him. He always greets you with ciao, hello, and goodbye. I mean, he is literally an Italian, and his food is delicious. We've been to his restaurant to taste it. And there are people that are coming by themselves. So even if you're not coming with a partner or a friend or group member, there's going to be ways that we're going to play games, get to know each other, and include everybody. So don't be shy. Definitely sign up if it's something you think you'll enjoy. We're going to eat the food that's featured in the book that Charlotte and the other characters eat. We have 2 days full of food and fun planned. It's all included in the price. The only thing that is an extra is transportation, and we split that out so that if you're local or you're renting a car, you don't need to pay for the transportation. But if you're coming from out of state and you don't want to worry about, getting around for the event, then we will pick you up at the hotel. We also have 3 hotel options. So we have a block of rooms at the Hyatt in Roseville, and that's $189 a night. And then we have 2 options downtown. We wanted to do a little nicer hotel and then one that was a little more affordable. So we wanted to give you 2 options there. The Exchange is $220 a night, and Holiday Inn is $115 a night. So really screaming deal on the Holiday Inn, and it's located in a really great place for you to be able to see other things downtown Sacramento. And if you add on the transportation, then we pick you up from those hotels and get you to the event and get you back and on the little trip that we're hoping for the out-of-towners to take them to where the place where gold was discovered, so that they can see some of these cute little gold country towns that I based Whiskey Creek on. So that'll be a highlight too. And if you're local, we'll have another option at the event if you don't want to go out and see Coloma again, because I know most people went there for school. I took my kids there when we were doing field trips. That was a big thing. So speaking, and at this event, we're going to have wine tasting, of course, and that's going to be an amazing selection of wines because we have a resident wine expert, and that is Alexa's husband, Vinny. You may remember when he did tasting and pairing it with charcuteries once before in the group. Well, he's going to do an educational class to get us all ready for this event. So he's going to do another big wine tasting thing. And I don't know if you saw the beautiful glass that's being included in September's Brenda Novak book box, but Alexa designed it. You can't get it anywhere else. And it says, "Because reality can wait." And it has an open book underneath it. So we've made it possible that you can add on extra glasses if you want to give these as a gift to anyone. We purposely left out wine and any of the saying or whatever, because you can use these glasses to drink anything, and they're just a really fun book related item. So you can get them, you can add on, I think up to 6 or maybe 5 to make a total of 6. Alexa will have to clarify that, or maybe it's on the store, but I can't remember how many we decided. But you can add on some for your whole book group or for Christmas or for whatever you want to do. So that's going to be really fun. And in September's box, we're also going to get 4 wine tasting cards. Oh, there's the glass. Alexa got the glass up. It's big, it's nice. I can't wait for mine. I'm super excited. I want to have a whole collection. But you get the box, you get the Reality Can Wait glass, you get 4 wine tasting cards, you get an autographed copy of The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau by Kristen Harmel, which is going to be a beautiful novel. I already know. I trust her to do excellent work. And because this book is set in France, we have added a classic French treat, which is a Madeleine. And I loved the story that goes with the Madeleine. You'll see it in your book box in the brochure as to how they came to be. And it's sort of a sponge cake type of thing that you can dip in chocolate. You can, put powdered sugar over it. There are different ways to eat it. And there's also a lot of bookish stickers Alexa designed. She really knocked herself out to do a lot of them this time because people really seem to enjoy them. So the first set went in January's box, and then the second set to finish out the year is going in this box. So you could pay just $5 for Vinny's wine class if you want, or you can go to the Brenda Novak store to get the wine box, which comes with your ticket to the wine tasting that Vinny is going to do. It's going to be a whole class. And so we're super excited that he's willing to help us out. He is such a good guy. Alexa really did well with him. We're proud of him. So anyway, if you want a set of those glasses or gifts for your book group, as I said, you can add the extra ones on when you go on the store and order your book. So they also make great Christmas presents. And now we're to the exciting part of the evening. We're going to bring on Michelle Lindo-Rice. Hello, is Michelle here? There she
Hi.
is. Hi, Michelle. Let me tell them a little bit about you. Michelle is the best-selling author of the Able to Love and On the Right Path series. She's an Emma Award winner and a Vivian Award finalist. She enjoys reading and crafting fiction across genres. And I didn't know you were originally from Jamaica, West Indies. At what point did
Oh
you move
yes.
to the US?
I moved to New York actually December 24th when I was 11 years old in
Oh, I
1984.
hear a little bit of that accent. I
Yes.
love it. They have great accents down
Hello.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome. We are so glad to have you here. Michelle is well educated. She has many degrees. She's spent
Yes.
20 years as an educator. She's been a literary agent. She's written, how many books are you up to now?
I believe I'm at 30 or so.
Woo,
I
you
think.
are getting up there.
Yes. I have a ways to go.
You are one impressive gal. We are
Oh,
so
thank
excited that
you
you
so
were able to
much.
join us. And thank you so much for signing all those books. I know that's a big job.
It was a lot of fun to do. I have never signed so many books in life. So thank you and the Brenda Novak Book Club for the opportunity.
Oh, you're a doll. We are so happy that you were willing and that we were able to get them into one of our boxes. And everybody's been enjoying your book so much. I love your work, so it's super fun to support it. I've got to read a couple of your titles now, and I need to read more. Before we get started, I want to give away our last August box to one of our lucky viewers. Well, hopefully she's viewing. We do it on the post where we have people RSVP and then ask a question for our guest author. We always reserve one box for that. And so this is our chance to give that away. And the winner of the box is Alexa. Did you get a winner? I'm not seeing it come through. Here it is. Lex? Well, maybe we'll have to announce this later. She sent me my notes, but she has a blank here where she was going to fill that in and go back and draw somebody. So, all right, well, we'll do that later. Congratulations to whoever it is. We will do a post and tag you. And I would do it right now, except for I'm in Australia and I don't have my normal stuff here, which is why Alexa was helping me out. But she will get that to us. And there will be, if you didn't get an August box and you still want to paint the cool bricks, Alexa has gone to a lot of work to create a tutorial and all the instructions and everything. And she's willing to send that to you. So if you want to try your hand on your own and do it, just email store@brendanovak.com and Alexa will make sure you get that link and you can, take advantage of all the work that she did to make that happen, make it easy for people. Here she is. Hey, Lex, do you have our winner for our August box?
Sorry about that. Yeah, Elizabeth Johns. Congratulations.
Ooh, Elizabeth Johns. Okay, we did that. Thank you, Lex, for coming on. I can't wait to see how all your bricks turn out. So make sure you post them. I'm sure Michelle wants to see them too. And guess what? Michelle will be joining us at the Zoom after party.
Oh
So
yes.
Yeah, so if you got the August book box, you got a ticket to we're including everybody who got the August box, not just the subscribers. So if you don't have your Zoom link, once again, I said this earlier, but if you're just joining, make sure you email store@brendanovak.com so you get that link, because you're not going to want to miss chatting in a more casual atmosphere with Michelle as we do the after party, and Alexa and everybody. And Michelle, are you going to be painting your brick then too?
Yes, I plan to try. Yes.
Would you say you're artistically inclined?
I think so, but I've never tried it with painting, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna be a mess, but it's gonna be a fun mess.
Well, it'll be really fun to see what you're able to do. Then it might almost be funnier if you're not good at it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm certainly glad for the covers because I have a feeling I'm gonna use those.
Okay, you can't go wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the foolproof way. I would do that too. I'm no good at freehand painting, especially because I think if we spent time developing that talent, maybe we could get okay. But we're always writing. Like, when are we painting?
exactly. I agree.
How long does it take you to write a book?
It all depends. If I'm able to really get locked into the characters, it could be between four, like a big book, it could be 4 to 6 months. Um, 4 months of solid writing. That's how long it would probably take me. But as you know, the editing process takes way longer than that after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just as simple as writing the book and sending it in. We go over it round after round
Yeah.
after round.
Yes, and more.
So, Michelle, who is your biggest advocate and how did you meet them?
Um, an advocate as far as an author, you mean?
Well, it could be anybody in your life. It
Oh,
could be your
anybody. Oh,
parents, your husband, your
okay.
editor, your agent. Like, who do you feel like has been, and I'm sure there's many people, but if you could
Yes.
just name one who's been instrumental, who comes to mind?
I would say right now in my career, I'm going to say definitely my husband. Before that, I would say my kids, but my husband has been my champion. Um, he is very encouraging. I don't know. Some great things happened to me after, some when you're younger and you're like, wow, I'm going to go to 50. That's all the way there. But it came closer, much, I guess, faster and closer than you can imagine. And so that was, my second marriage, and like my best friend, he's a willing ear to talk through all of these books that I do. And he's always encouraging me to like take a chance and to, do something new. And so I'd say definitely he's my biggest advocate as far as my book world right now.
I
And my
loved getting
sister,
to meet him. He's a
too.
handsome guy and he's so proud of you, and it's so fun to see it. That's
Handsome
one of my
too.
most joyful parts of when I have a book signing, is when there are partners who are brought along. And not that everybody needs to bring their partner, but just noticing the little, like making sure the partner or the partner always makes sure like that their wife gets this book signed the way they want, or like they're always kind of guarding their space in line or making sure they get the picture. And I just love that because it just shows how much they care and how they work together as a partnership. And for whatever reason, that just really touches me. Maybe because I'm a romance writer, right?
Me too.
So, what would you say, if you could just pick one thing again, is the greatest element in writing a good novel?
Oh, wow. What a great question. I think the greatest element in writing a great novel is actually the character. Um, Plot, of course, holds a story together, but I think people need to really fall in love with the character or even hate the character. But whatever it is, they have to have a strong, passionate feeling for the character in order to, I believe, continue on with the story. Because we've all started books, but what I believe characters is a person in the book that makes us carry on with the tale. So I would say definitely the character.
I love that. Yeah, if we're
Yeah.
not sympathetic to the plight of what the people are going through, it's really hard for me, at least, like you, to hang on just for plot alone.
Yes.
And so I really feel like that is I would agree that's one of the most important elements for sure. So now we're to the part where we spill the tea. And you guys
All
know this
right.
is a new section that we've added
I
to
had
our book
seen
group
this.
meetings, where we have a little bit more of an intimate, like gossipy part.
All right. Let's
So
gossip.
we are going to ask some tougher questions and see how Michelle answers these. So it helps us
Okay.
get to know her a little bit better. So, which of your characters are most closely based on a real person, and are they aware of it?
Oh my gosh, how juicy is that? Oh my gosh. So I'm definitely going to go to Shelby because of the fact, as you guys can hear from my Jamaican accent, that I came from Jamaica, West Indies, and there are a lot of books that I've written that I haven't really put a lot of that culture in. And so with Shelby's character, I did give her Jamaican parents. And from there, I was able to use a lot of little sayings and phrases that we have. We speak English, but it's patois, which is like, I guess you'd say a broken English almost. So we may not use every word or something like that. So I get to showcase some of that. And so I would definitely say that Shelby. And Shelby, I think, is a combination of myself, maybe my mom, my sister. Um, so I think if they were to read it, they may see pieces of it. But
Oh,
yes, so
and do they read your work?
um my sisters do. I'm fortunate because that's not really, always common. But I am fortunate. My sisters, they buy my books. They don't take free copies from me. They buy my books and
Oh, well,
they
then that's
read
super
them. Yeah,
nice.
they insist on buying and they read them. And my youngest sister, actually, there's like 15 years between us. But she bullies me, guys. I'll tell you that as a secret. But anyway, so she reads my books first and she'll say get it done. So when she knows I have a deadline, oh, that's what I mean by bullying me. She'll write me and go, are you, get off social media and go write. So she
Oh,
means
I
well.
love that she's so supportive of you. I
Yes,
think that that's so important. So you
very
could have
much.
named her in the answer to question one, too, when I asked you who was one of your biggest advocates.
Yes, I could have.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Okay, so have you ever made an embarrassing mistake in publishing?
Oh my gosh.
That's a hard one,
Okay.
huh?
Oh my gosh. So I think that as far as with publishing an embarrassing mistake, oh my lord. Hmm.
Well, I will tell you one while you think.
Okay,
It'll maybe
yes. Okay.
jog an idea. Okay, so I was supposed to be speaking at a conference at an RWA chapter meeting in Florida. And you know how they would ask us to stay with various members to save money or whatever. And the members would help out by transporting you. It was very lovely. And so this one woman was helping me out. She was driving me to the meeting and we were running just a little bit late. And to be honest, I can't remember if it was my fault or hers or whatever. I don't remember that part because what I remember is what came next because it was so embarrassing. So we get in the parking lot and I just remembered this burning desire, like, I got to get in there. I'm late. Like, I'm the speaker. And so I turn into this like bullet, like I'm just marching forward, and she's trying to gather her stuff from the car and get after me. And she's like, Brenda, as I rush through this crowded restaurant because the meeting was in the back. They
Yeah.
reserve a room for the group. And so I go charge, I get all the way to the door. And she finally reached me. She's like, Brenda, your dress is tucked into the back of your underwear. So that happened to me.
Okay, I don't know if I can top that one, but think I think um I think one of the embarrassing things that happened to me was I was with a book club and I love readers and in the middle of the meeting one particular reader, I wasn't prepared for that, but
Uh-huh.
she just came on to tell me how much she hated my book.
Oh
And
my
so all I
gosh.
could do was laugh. I just laughed and I listened. And you know what I said at the end? I said, "But you finished it though." And she was like, "Oh." And I said, "That's the goal." And so
Good for you.
and I think it's not that, then let me clarify, not that she hated the book. I think it was that she didn't like the way the book ended. Because a lot of time
Oh,
readers are like, I needed this to happen. And she goes, I threw that book across the room. So then I said, but you finished. So that's the goal,
oh.
I think, of every writer.
Well, you are a good sport because that could be very hurtful. When you first started, did you find your reviews, if they weren't all flattering, which none of us get all flattering reviews? I mean,
Yeah.
even when I feel bad about a review, I go on and read some of my most favorite books, like classics, and some of them will have terrible reviews, which is shocking. So, have you kind of become where you can take it like, well, not every book is for every person, or is it still like, ouch,
Yeah.
ouch, or how do you deal with it?
No, actually, that's what I do. And I'll email other author friends sometimes and say, "Hey, this happened." But most of the time, one of the things that you learn early on is not to read your reviews because reviews are for the readers and they're entitled to their opinion, and that is perfect. and that is, they're entitled to love it, they're entitled not to like it. We're all readers, so that's how much I develop. I think where I would more, I think, feel away is if like a fellow author is just like, this is terrible, then that would cut me to, I think, more to the core. But other than
Yeah.
that, it is a part of the business, and you just have to understand that they're entitled to their opinions, and I respect it.
Oh, good. Well, I love your attitude. I think it's a healthy attitude. I have had many
Yeah.
readers ask me, like, can you, like, would you rather if it's not a positive review, we don't leave one at all, or is it better just for the algorithm just to even get that review? And it's really hard to tell readers, even though those they can be hurtful, not to post a review if they don't like the book, because, like you say, that they have the right to their opinion. They have the right to say what they felt about what they read, and we have to be big enough to take it, and be able to say, okay, well, my book may not be a favorite to everybody. No book is. And so we have to kind of take it with that type of attitude. I feel like it looks like you're already there. So good for you. And
Yeah.
then this is kind of a added question to that one. So
Yeah.
is there a book you feel like there has been a lot of hype about? And you don't have to name names because I know that
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anybody either.
Yeah.
But is there a book that, got a lot of hype that you feel as though it wasn't deserving, that you were shocked after you read it?
Well, okay, so I think that I was reading, my sister told me about the 50 Shades book, and
Okay.
she kept I mean, this is quite a few years back, and she was just like, "Hey, you need to read it." So book 1 I got through, but the rest after that I was just like, this wasn't for me. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I would say no, because I'm at the point where I can tell by reading the premise if I'm going to like love this book. And like even your last book, the Summer That Changed Everything, I tore through that in a couple of days.
Oh,
It's a reward for me to sit and read, so I
oh,
was super excited to read it. And you can just tell by the premise and even the first few pages, and I know, okay, I'm completely going to finish it. But yeah, there was a lot of hype there with it, but I just, for with the 50 Shades series, but I personally just didn't get into it with the
didn't
hype.
connect. It,
Yeah.
it wasn't your
Yeah.
thing. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to be so shocked. I have never read it. I don't know
No, that
why it
didn't mean
just
to say I
never
cannot
grabbed
say.
me. I mean, I think it's
It's
because I've heard
okay,
so
is
much
what I'll
about it.
say.
Yeah, I felt like everybody had already told me everything about it, right? Like
I felt
there
so
was,
too.
yeah, nothing left to be surprised about or whatever. And so I do like Alpha Heroes. So I thought maybe I could get into that. I just have never ever done it. I also thought that maybe it would cross some of the lines for me that I don't necessarily find appealing with the whole bondage thing. That's not my personal thing.
Yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, so
So it
I
was more
get that.
content, yeah, and I was just, it just wasn't for me, so
Yeah. Yeah, great answer. Okay, so as the publishing industry changes, an author has to do more marketing than ever before.
oh,
Is
yeah.
this something you enjoy? What's your favorite social platform?
So, I mean, and the kids keep saying that we older people love Facebook. I do love Facebook a lot. For one thing, I can figure it out. I am on Instagram and I still cannot, the whole reposting and collaborate. I'm like, I cannot figure this out, but I am everywhere. And I do believe in that. I remember actually like years ago, I went to like a book club event, and I remember the readers saying to me, "Hey, if we don't know you, a lot of times we won't support you." And it was a teaching, to some may take
Wow.
it as an insult, but I took it as a teaching moment, that come out of your shell, talk to people. You had to learn to like sell yourself and talk about your books, and that's kind of hard to do because we're taught the opposite of, it's not humble, but you have to learn how to talk about yourself and mark your book. And with my dad being a minister, he was a pastor, and so as a pastor's kid, everywhere he went, we had to get up and sing or speak at a moment. So that come in handy when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm not as shy with the verbal piece, but I do have to like hype myself up and get into what I call people mode.
Yeah, well, you're I think a decade younger than me probably, or close to it.
Probably.
And I grew up in a time period where any kind word about yourself was called conceit. Like
Yeah.
you would immediately be accused, you're so conceited. And so we just learned to be really self-deprecating. Were you kind of
Yes.
in that same generation, or are you a little too young
Yes.
for that?
No, no, no. I don't think I'm that far behind you. Born 73. So anyway, so yes, that was definitely the era of, otherwise you'd be seen as being fully yourself or bragging on yourself. But
Yeah.
that's the key to great interviewing anywhere, is that you do have to be able to, I had to pitch my work to editors or whatever, and I practiced. You had to practice what we call the elevator pitch, you know and
Yeah.
just go for it, and you have to hope that the concept that you come up with will grab them. So like, even with I didn't come up with those 4 words, but it does match it with some for the books, beaches, besties, and secrets. And I was like, wow, yes, it was a great tagline. So coming up with those kind of things, I feel, is what you have to learn. When readers say to you, hey, what's your book about? I remember a lot of times being like, oh, so I started to
Yeah.
practice.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to encapsulate it. And I think that you are so likable and approachable. I think you have just the right lane to do that. Like, you're right on it. And I
Yeah.
have noticed an experience in the past where I remember going early on. I was a newbie and nobody knew me. And I was at this big signing at this flower farm. And our books were all piled out there and people were kind of milling around. Nobody was buying my book at all. And so I was a little nervous. It was one of my early ones. And then we all spoke. And as soon as after we each spoke, suddenly the people, like what you're saying, they connect, and so then they would connect and come and try my book. And the other authors had the same phenomenon happen. Once they'd
Yeah.
speak, then people can connect and see who you are.
Yes.
And so sometimes they hang back until they get that connection. And it really, it does make a difference, I feel like. And so you don't resent the extra promotion effort that authors have to go to nowadays that they didn't really have to do in the past.
No, actually, I don't, because I do love people, and there have been times where I have felt like giving up with the writing world, and my readers. Oh my goodness, there is no one that can cheerlead you like a reader. Let me tell you, you would be sitting there by the computer and going, "This stinks. This is terrible." And then a reader will just write you, and they'll go, "I love your work," and then you're like, "I must be the best writer ever." By the time, there's nothing like reader passion, and it's like gasoline, and it just fires you up. And so I
Yeah.
do. I love hearing from readers, whether it be good or bad, and it's quite okay. I can take
Oh,
it. Yeah.
you have a great attitude. Great attitude. Okay, last part of spilling the tea before we move on to talk about books
Okay.
specifically. Have you ever had to ask for an extension because you were going to be late for a book?
Oh my god. That is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to me in publishing. Yes, I have. Because at the time when you're signing, you're like, oh, this is great. Oh, I totally can do this. Well, life happens. And with me, it was just a lot going on. Even in May, my dad died. And yeah, and I have a book due. And even now, I'm still, there's you're dealing with it then, but it's really the afterwards that it really starts settling in. And so I was
Yeah.
like, no daddy for my birthday, no daddy for Father's Day, all these things. And so yes, I have had to write and ask for an extension. And it because I realized too, I have a lot of pride, and I have a lot of, like, I don't want, I hate being late, but I have been late, and it's so embarrassing to say, but I have been late. I'm
But
late
it
right
sounds like
now.
you
That's
do
why I'm
try.
cracking up.
It sounds like you're not a procrastinator though. Those are like natural, or do you need a deadline to motivate you? Like I was on a panel here on the Australian conference and we had Sarah Morgan, and she is so fun and what a great personality. And we were all talking about our different approach to writing, and Sarah was talking about how she needs that deadline to sort of creep up, and then she goes into vampire mode and she just disappears from her family for like a month and a half, and her husband really steps up to carry it during that time period. And as I was listening to her, I was feeling my stress level just come, like almost like something coming up in your throat. Like, I would panic. I would not be able to write. Like if I was down to a month and I was just starting or whatever, I'd be so locked up. I'd be like
Yeah,
one of those fainting goats where they clap and they just fall over, like, and so, but that's what works for her. We all have a
yeah,
different approach. And so she said that she acted like that, getting right to the end and maybe even being late. Sometimes it would even be after the deadline that she finally feels that emergency to kick in and do it.
yes.
And it just, I'm like, I could never do that. I have to lope toward it so that I don't freeze up. Which side do you fall on?
I am definitely I was just coasting along the last month or so, and I am cracking up because when I leave tonight and tomorrow, I am doing that very same, what do you call that, vampire writing? Because
Vampire mode.
vampire mode. I locked myself in because I realized this is one time where I realized I wouldn't get it finished. So I told the editor and I said this date. And then I'm like, man, I should have asked for an extra week, but it's okay.
Should have asked for an extra week. If as long as you're asking, right?
Right. Yeah, but I really am late. So I do. I have to go in. I love that. Thank you to the author that coined that. I really do have to go into vampire mode.
Yes, yes, she's that's how she does it. So with my five kids, I just could never have done it. So I hats off to people who can. I remember Karen Rose is another one. I'd be staying with her at a conference, and she would be on deadline. I would never be able to write at a conference, A, because my mind would be so many other places, and B, like when I'm sleeping because I need to be able to face the next day. She was up literally on the floor with like a headlight on, writing all night. And she then turned in her book. Like she did hundreds of pages at this conference. And I remember just like
Wow.
astonished, going, how is she doing this? So we all have our different approach, and what works for one does not work for another. But
Yes.
yeah, now we get to talk about A Summer for the Books, which everybody, I've been looking at everybody's posts in the book group and hearing their feedback. And it's so fun when they haven't read an author before, and this may be their first time. I especially love that because I love the comments that we get in the group about introducing them to their new favorite authors. And so that's always a lot of fun. So thank you for putting your book out there so that we can read it. Everybody's
Thank
enjoying it.
you. Thank
This is a novel about friendship, adoption, and long buried family secrets. It wouldn't be the
you.
same without the secrets, right? Carrie Petrasek, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, said, how did you come up with the idea for this book?
Oh my gosh. So, sometimes it might be a picture or a photo. With this particular one, I knew that I wanted to challenge myself. This is the first time I've challenged myself like this as an author. And I think what I did was I just put the kitchen sink in here. That's what it felt like to me. But the concept came because I knew I wanted to write a book within a book, and I knew that I wanted to flirt a little bit with a dual timeline, which I've never done before. So I had like ideas of to challenge myself as an author. But then as far as with that, I love exploring friendships. And so I know I wanted to do a reunion story with friends of something happens that tore us apart, and then what's it going to take to bring us together as friends. And so that was where that whole concept started, with the best friends that tore them apart. But of course, now being an author, I had to go there to say, okay, what is something big or major that could come between friends? And that's when I came up with, okay, a baby. What happened with this baby? And I love alliteration. So in Delaware, as you know, Brenda Novak, we have bookstores by the beach. And so I was just like, oh, well, what happened if something happened to a baby by the bookstore on the beach? And so that was where, because of that alliteration, and that's where I started fleshing out that idea between the friends. So the secret that keeps them together is the very same secret that tears them apart.
I love the full circle moment. I think that that is so clever. And it makes it such a good beach read. I mean, it's a good read any year, but I mean, any time of the year. But there was another question similar to that that I wanted to skip to because it just, oh yeah. Belinda Hilly said, is it hard to write dual timelines? So you mentioned the dual timeline. I knew we
Yes.
had a question about that. How did you enjoy writing it? Did you find it difficult?
Yeah. So there's things that you enjoy as a reader that when you become a writer writing it, it is not as easy as you think, especially in terms of the part that was not difficult was the content, but it was more the organization that was really tricky, because you have to write in the present to keep the authors going, but then revisit things in the past without it quote unquote becoming too repetitive. And so that I think was the challenging part for me, but I absolutely loved it. And something that was unplanned was the fact that Lacey, I didn't know that she was going to have a voice of her own. But in talking through the concept with my editor, that was when I was just like, oh, I am definitely going to give Lacey a point of view. And so I get to play even more there because now we have that extra dynamic. But the dual timeline was strictly with the friends, with what was going on now. And because it was a book within a book, I used that dual timeline to tell the story of how they got to the uh, area where they were driven apart.
Well,
So
it adds some depth to the novel. I feel like anything you live through has bigger emotional resonance than just telling
yes,
about something in the past. So it's a way, I think, to draw the reader in emotionally from that perspective and anchor them, right?
yes,
So they
I love
better
your answer better
understand.
than mine, Brenda.
Say that again.
I said I love your answer better than mine because you're like
No, no,
really,
you had it.
it's
No,
really
we
reflective
agree.
what you're saying because that is absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah, we agree on that, and I think that they're very effective for that reason when they're done right. And I
Yes,
think that you nailed it on this. So
thank
congratulations
you.
on that. Myra Johnson says, has anyone in your family or extended family been adopted?
Yes, they have. So I have there's six of us with my parents. Four are her natural, and actually I'm a twin. So two of us were born in August and two of us were born on the same day in January, but they're like 10 years apart. And then I have my adopted sister and adopted brother. They came in as foster children first. So I definitely drew from that with the storyline.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
That's
Yes,
that's
I do.
wonderful. Yeah, I love adoption stories because it explores that sense of belonging and making family versus necessarily being born into one, right? And how important it is to find that connection and to hold those people close. And sometimes, I mean, we've had friends for whom it's gone great, and we've had friends for whom it has not. It can be a really difficult thing. So there's a
Mhm.
lot to mine there emotionally, in a
Yes.
story, right?
There definitely is. And with both of my siblings, even my brother, when they got to a certain age and just exploring, like, I want to know who I am. And
Yeah.
it was like, I love you guys, but I want to know where I came from, who else is around. And so that definitely also I kind of drew from that experience. And it's allowing them that process. I'm glad that my parents were like that, where it was like, it's fine, go ahead,
Yeah.
but we're gonna be here. And sure enough, they did go full circle. They tend to do full
Yeah.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, Linda Tucker said, "What are you working on now?" We want to know what's coming up next too.
So I have a deadline, guys, of August 29th, which is I'm actually writing for Love Inspired. So I write as Zoe Marie Jackson for Love Inspired.
Ah,
And so I need to finish that. And it's a part of and it's another adoption actually. It's three siblings and they were adopted by a family, and she passed is away, and so each sibling has to spend 3 months in the house for a different reason or a different purpose, so that they can get their inheritance. But of course, they're going to fall in love along the way. I love my romances. So that's what I'm working on right now, presently. Yeah.
and when does it come out?
I don't know because I think they've been waiting on me to hand this book in for quite some time.
Okay, so that's TBD. We're gonna have to
Yes.
stay following you so that we can figure out when the next book comes
Oh,
out.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so then I thought this was a good question. Brooke Showalter said, "Did you write with the ending in mind, or did you follow the characters wherever they took you?" Sounds like with what you're telling me a little bit, the problem that tore them apart's problem brings them together. You kind of had that in mind before you started, but did you have a more extensive outline, or how did you work it?
No, and let me tell you, I did not know for sure, and they took me on a journey, and it was at the end where it all came together for me. So no, I find that I've heard different names for it, but I call it I'm a plantser. So I'll start off with the best intentions of plotting, and then I'm like, forget this, and I'll just go in my own world and write myself in a corner, and then I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this now? And so yeah, so that's kind of what happened with the friends. And they have often said that the best, it's a saying that we use, which is that the best books are what, rewritten or editing. So thank goodness I have an amazing editor who read it and who walked me through to really make sure that where I ended up, that it made sense how we got there, because there are times where you can get really dramatic, and then she's like, there's no way this is gonna happen, so I had to fix.
Well, I found that people who write a lot about friends, such as yourself, are often a very good friend. I really feel like you put part of yourself in every book. And so people who really focus on friendships and as themes in their books have focused on friendship as themes in their lives. So anyway, I'm grateful that we are friends, and
Yes.
I'm glad that we got to meet.
And
Okay,
and
Amanda.
guys, I started, I am a fan. So, and Brenda is just absolutely lovely and so gracious.
uh,
And and now she's saying we're friends. So I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while. Just now.
We are definitely friends, and
Yeah.
I am grateful to have you as my friend. So, Manda Bear said, "What's the most surprising, strange, or unique thing you've ever researched for a book?" Well, that's a good question. One
My
we haven't
gosh.
had.
Oh my gosh, what a great question. I mean,
Yeah.
I have when I wrote like a little mystery, and I have researched like things about weapons, I mean, I have researched some things that when they say like, I wonder if the FBI is gonna look me up, I have
They're
researched
following all
things.
these random
Yes.
searches.
Yes, and then you find out sometimes it's like some little details. So even like in the copy editing phase, I may say, I may research, I don't know, something about, uh, like, I definitely have done guns, which I didn't know much about. I've done on Alaska, which I really wanted to go and I didn't make it to go, so my book did. So these are some of the more fun things, but like I've done some creepy things that probably I may not be able to mention that I have researched in order. Sometimes it's just to do one or two lines, but it's worth it at the end. And that's
Right.
why, honestly, Brenda, I feel like I know some random facts that makes no sense, but somehow I.
Well, because I've also written suspense, I have kind of some creepy ones that came to my mind when you were saying that.
Yeah.
One is in one of my books for Evelyn Talbot series, the one of the villains is called the Zombie Maker, and
Oh,
his signature were these lobotomies. He was trying to figure out how to do these lobotomies, and that would make
yes,
these his victims more compliant. And so he was trying to use them. And the research for the mental health stuff that they did with lobotomies back in, I can't remember
yes,
now, it's been a while since I did the research. I want to say the 50s. Maybe it was a little earlier than that. But anyway, they literally were giving lobotomies to people with mental health issues,
wow,
thinking that that was
wow,
going to help them in some way. And it did
wow,
actually make some of them calmer, but it also made some of them catatonic, of course. And it was so
yes,
dangerous and they didn't really know what they were doing. But the research for it, it was fascinating. And so I named that
yeah,
serial killer the zombie, or the zombie maker, yeah.
yeah.
And he was trying, am I saying that right? Yeah. Anyway, he was trying to make him compliant and then would go wrong and he'd end up killing him and have to get another victim to try.
And I tell you, because I know we're probably bumping on time. I know how you work, but can I tell you that this kind of will answer the question that you asked? Is that I was researching about funerals, right? And
Uh-huh.
so at my dad's funeral, we're standing there and they're talking about the clothes, and they asked a question like, "Oh, do you want the clothes back when you're?" And we were like, "What? What do you mean?" Right? And so I'm standing there, and I say to my sister, I said, "Actually, I've read that you guys actually cut the clothes, and you have to taper it or whatever, so it's not fully on the person like you would think." And she's like,
Oh.
"You know this?" I said, "I don't know. I write books. I learn random facts." And so she goes, "We did not tell about that." But I said, "I know that's what you guys do." So yeah, I researched about that. That was definitely weird, but a fun fact to know.
That is a weird, creepy, but fun fact. Well, thank you so much for being our featured August author. It was a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you in the group, and it's been so wonderful to meet you. And you've come to my signings, which has been really fun. So I actually know you in person as well.
Yes.
So I hope that we'll get to meet again soon, and that everybody will follow you and look for your next book, because we have to wait for that release date to come out, right?
Yes. Thank you so, so much. My next book is actually coming out in October, with special edition. Yeah. It's one of the
Okay, and
14
what's the
books.
title?
Oh goodness. Hmm. Oh, I have two titles in my brain. I
Oh
can't
no,
remember. I'm sorry.
that's okay. You can post
This is
about it.
now
You can
the
post.
most embarrassing thing that has happened to me in public.
No, I threw that on you at the last second. I'm sorry, but
No,
and I
but
got
I should
confused. I
know
thought the
it.
one you were
Help
working
me.
on now was coming
Get
out
the book
next,
for
but you
me.
actually have one before that, and then the one you're working on now, they're going to get a slot for.
Yes.
So that's the two that are in the pipeline, correct? One in
Yeah.
October, and then one you're working on now.
Yes. And
Okay.
I have one coming out in April as well. That one I know the title, Fortune's Found Family, but I have one coming up, and I can see the orange cover and I'm drawing a blank. So this is definitely going down in history as an embarrassing time in
Well,
public.
next time you spill the tea with somebody and they say, "Has something embarrassing ever happened in
Yes.
publishing?" You can say, "Well, Brenda Novak asked me the title of my next book and I couldn't remember it."
Yes.
But I've done the same thing, so you can't be too embarrassed about it.
Thank you. I now have a story to tell.
All right. Well, we'll let you hop over to Zoom. Michelle will be waiting for us there while I get to speak a little bit to Tia, who did our freeze dried candy for our August box. We get to hear a little bit about her process. So thank you to Michelle. She'll be joining us on the Zoom party, and we will get to see her there. And Tia owns Arctic Treats, where your sweet tooth meets the innovation of freeze dried candy. And I know that she's done a lot of different types of freeze drying. I got to see all the selection while I was there. And she was the one that suggested the Skittles as something that would be kind of ideal, small enough to fit in the box with all those bricks. And, we have some other things we have to take into account. But anyway, are we getting Tia on here, Lex? There she is. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
It was so fun to get to meet you and the other vendors when I went to the Redlands Fair, or Redwoods. I almost said Redwoods Fair up in Eureka. I had never been up to Eureka before, and it was really, I mean, I'd been to the Redwoods, but never spent much time actually in Eureka. Like, I didn't know about your whole cool, like, park in the middle that's like this forest in the middle of a city. You can hike. It's super cool. So how long have you lived in Eureka? We'll start there.
My whole life.
Oh, you were born there.
35, born and raised here. Yep.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it's a lovely area. And what got you into making freeze-dried candy?
Well, I grew up with my grandmother always baking. In fact, she had her own cookbook that she had made. And so I have always been interested in doing baking and stuff. But I actually was a hairdresser for 20 years. And I became super allergic to, I was doing hair and nails, and I became super allergic to the nail products.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I ended up having to kind of part ways with that. And I met this really great woman who was wanting to get rid of this freeze dried candy business that was brand new. So I took a risk and bought the business from her. She had it in 6 different stores, and it was rapidly growing, and her husband had retired, and he was like, "You either grow the business or you retire with me." And so I was like, this is perfect timing, because I wanted to like substitute my income, you know what I mean? And so I took a big risk and bought it. And now we've grown to about 50 stores over 4 surrounding counties in our area.
Wow. So you have to go and deliver, like kind of take account of what's sold and replace it and go around daily?
Yep.
Or how often on a route do you have to
do it. Every store is different. Some of the stores are weekly, some of them are bi-weekly, especially if they're further. And I do the distributing myself, because that's like kind of the most exciting, not the most exciting part, but one of the exciting factors, because everyone's excited to get the shipment. And if I have a distributor do it, it's not quite the same. So I do it myself, and I get to go get out in the community and see everyone. And that's really fun.
Yay, woman-owned businesses. We love to support
Yes.
them.
Yes.
So what is your most popular item? What sells the most? You just can't keep it in stock.
For sure, the Skittles and the Nerd Clusters, which on my website, the Nerd Clusters are a little dangerous to ship because they're a little bit fragile, but they are, if people are wanting to take a risk, I can still ship them. And those are the 2 most popular, probably.
So they can order from your website direct to their homes.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, we're going to put your website. I think we've also already been giving it out in the book group, but we'll link that in the comments today too. And then I know that you make some fudge, because I was going over and trying all the different kinds of fudge, and I even wanted to do, maybe we'll get to do the mint fudge at some point. It was so good. So did you
Oh,
start the
thank you.
fudge first and then get into the freeze dried, or is which one grew out of which?
So I did the freeze dried candy first, and then I branched out to the fudge using my grandmother's recipe and kind of changing it with the different flavors so we can have multiple flavors. It's a new branch of the business, and it's called Fudgy Treats, but it still is a part of it, and it will be coming to the website soon, but it's kind of a newer item. And yeah, we have other items too. We sell like the flavor enhanced gushers. We do have those on our website. Those are super fun if you like sour things.
And how do you decide what you're going to try and freeze dry next? Is it just like get creative and just put it in and see what you get, or do you? How do
Yeah,
you
I
figure
mean,
that out?
there's a lot of risk with that because things can actually explode in the machine, and so you really don't want to clean that mess. So you have to be careful with that a little bit. I definitely follow a couple Facebook pages that help me kind of like, we talk about the different things and what temperatures we run the machine at, because it's very technical and some of the things have to be heated to the perfect temperature, and then you have to like run them to the machine as quickly as you can. So we have to be careful with what we put in there. You can't just put anything and everything in there. And then we do things that are ran differently than candy, and we like ice cream sandwiches, and we do these banana cream pie bites, and
Wow.
those are kind of just like experimenting like with different things. The banana cream pie bites are made with Biscoff cookies, like the airplane cookies that you
I
get.
love those. Those are my favorite
Yes.
cookies.
And then it has a dollop of banana cream pie filling and then a fresh banana on top. And those are my favorite. And I just discovered dipping them in Nutella. And it's
Oh
like,
my
oh no,
gosh,
this is a
my
problem.
two favorite things, Biscoff and Nutella. So
Yes.
wow,
They go good together.
that sounds wonderful. So would you say that's the most unusual thing that you've done that has actually been a success? Is there something you've tried that's been a major failure, like, oh, I'll never do that again?
I have definitely failed candy and had it explode in the machine. That is definitely happened to me. I have, there's some candies that don't work very well unless they're the perfect temperature, like I was saying. And so they have failed. But I made some really sour, like fruit roll-ups and put them with the gusher powder. And they're so good if you like really sour things. But I had to put a warning label on the bag because it was like that sour. And I feel like that was kind of a
Wow.
fail, but also as long as people are aware of it, it's going to be a good thing. It was the hottest item at the last fair that we just had. Like I couldn't keep it on the shelf.
Oh
The
wow,
kid-
yeah, they love unusual things at fairs. I think
yeah,
that was
different
clever of you to
things
do that.
too.
Yeah, I went to this hamburger place I was drawing this drive. We always like to find out of the way diners, and we're on this long drive, and we found this hamburger place, and there was a warning on how hot the peppers were on the sandwich. And I thought it was a joke. It's the first time I had seen that, but it
Yeah.
was, I guess, it's even hotter than a habanero. So your warning on how sour they are, I'm like, sometimes you have to take those seriously. Like I thought it was a joke, but it was a real thing. I had to sign a waiver to be able to have
Oh
the
no.
hamburger. I thought if you're that serious about it, it's probably too hot for me. So I didn't do it, but
Oh,
I would
man.
try your sour candy. So I'll have to
Yeah.
do that at the next fair. So give everybody your website so they'll know where they can go verbally, and I'll also put it in the comments.
Yeah, it's super simple. It's arctictreatscandy.com. And then you can always follow us on social media, which is at Arctic Treats Candy. We have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And then Pinterest as well will also lead you to our website.
Awesome. Well, I will hope to get your mint fudge in, because that's a favorite of mine. I can't
Yes.
wait to have everybody try that. So
Yes,
thank
that
you
will be
so
on the
much for
website
joining
soon.
us tonight, and for doing all the work on those treats. We love featuring small businesses. We love featuring female-owned businesses, and you were just a
Aw.
joy to work with, and you did a great job.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Hope to see you at the Redwoods Fair again.
Yes, me too.
All right. And maybe, hey, oh, she should come down to I was going to tell her she should come down to our California State Fair. There you are. You should come down to the California State Fair.
I would love to. That's a dream of mine. So I will. Do you do that one every year?
I do. I do it for,
Okay.
it's 18 days usually. And
Perfect.
so definitely look into that because it's a lot of fun.
Perfect. Thank you so
And
much.
you know what? You know who does it from the Redwoods Fair is Jamie's nephew.
Oh,
who
Fry
does
Burger?
the burger, the tallow burgers.
Yeah, the fry burger.
He's
Yeah.
there. So you can get
Perfect.
information from him too, or email
Oh,
me.
cool. Cool. Well, thank you.
All right. Have a nice night. Hope
You
to see you
too.
soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, everybody. thank you to Tia. Thank you to Michelle. Wow, we had some great guests tonight. And I'm going to choose 3 live viewers to win $10 gift cards. Or Alexa is. Alexa, you ready to do some live viewers with me? I can't see without my glasses too good. Maybe she's off doing her Zoom party, so I guess I'll try and do this myself. Let's see. Oh, here, I can probably do it here. Okay, Christine Trell, you have won a $10 gift card. Linda Danis, you have won one. And Flo Bartoli, you've all won a $10 gift card to the Brenda Novak store. So thank you for joining us for the event tonight. And we get to announce our top 10 contributors again before we end the book group meeting and jump over to Zoom. That they are and Facebook chooses these people. We don't. They're the people that comment and share and interact the most and help other people. We're grateful for them because it helps our posts get out to more people. So that's why it's important. So always remember to like our posts so that it can reach all of our members. Anyway, this month we have Juanita Ramirez, Janet Roble, Christina Mages, Karen Chandler, Nancy Brady, Nicole Duvall, Jo Marie Maderer, Jen Miller, Cheryl Little, and Melissa Meredith. So each month, if you make top 10, your name goes into the hat to be drawn for a drawing that we hold at the end of the year at our Christmas party, where we award a year's worth of Brenda Novak book boxes to 4 people. So they share them and they each get 3. So thank you again to our top 10 contributors. And remember to read and record your August read by September 15th on my website to be entered to win the $100 gift card to the Brenda Novak store. That's a fun incentive. You don't have to read along with us monthly in order to fulfill the challenge. You can if you fall behind, you can catch up and still earn your pin. So we do want to make a point of that. You just have to finish all 12 by January 15th. And that will also get you into the grand prize drawing of to have a dedication in one of my books. So our September read is The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau by Kristen Harmel. Our book group meetings are always the last Thursday of the month at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I cannot wait to speak to Kristen. She always does great work. That will be on September 25th. So we have a month before that comes up, so you have time to get your books and get reading. And good night if you're in the States, and good morning if you're in Australia.
Thanks, Mom. Good to see you. Go have some fun. Everyone, if you got an August box, jump over to Zoom and I'll meet you there. And we have a little demo on how to make the book bricks. And you can always email store@brendanovak.com if you want to get all the instructions and everything.
And you'll get to see Michelle doing hers, which is going to be fun. Wasn't she a delight?
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining me.